The first Far Cry game is easily the fuckest game of all time. Far Cry games are a lot like butter. Have a little bit and you're fine. What a great time, I love this. Have a bunch more, and buddy, you're slipping.
Ah, shit. Ah, fuck.
Based on nothing, I feel like it's pretty accurate that most people jumped on this series when Skyrim with Guns, aka Far Cry 3, came out. This game had everything: explosions, guns, open world gameplay, crafting, vehicles, a good story, dubstep, and breasts. There's truly nothing like playing this game on an Xbox 360 when you're 13. But even as an adult, who can't figure out if the utility company gave me $50 or wants $50, I still think Far Cry 3 is one of the best video games of all time. Because I still like all of those things, on top of it just being an incredibly solid game that Ubisoft still has not topped almost a decade later. And you're out of your mind if you don't think this is easily one of the most influential games ever made.
I'm out of my mind, out of my fucking mind.
These days, Far Cry games feel like mostly copy-paste jobs, and in some cases, literally actually the same maps copy-pasted. Ever since 3, they've kind of just been doing the same thing, which, to be fair, is a pretty good gameplay formula to copy-paste, but also nobody even gave a shit about Far Cry 6, and I just found out it came out like 2 months ago. But we're not talking about this, or this. We're talking about this. Far Cry 1, otherwise known as Far Cry, is a linear first-person shooter from Crytek, the same team who went on to make Crysis, Devil May Cry, Kid Icarus, iCryly, and Fibble Flick and Roll. Far Cry was revolutionary for its time. I mean, in 2004, this is the shit I was making. Meanwhile, they were like, boom, look at this water. And I still think it looks like pretty good. You play as Jack, who's some guy with a funny voice, and there's this girl, and you're on this island or something. This guy's wearing black, so he's evil, and there's a scientist on the cell phone. I think his name is Wade. Okay, so I kind of missed the storyline. See, I had season 1 of The Big Bang Theory on in the background because I saw it was on HBO Max, and I thought, yeah, that would make for decent background noise because I won't care if I'm not paying attention to it. But the inverse happened because I didn't pause it during cutscenes, so I kind of only remember the plots to various early Big Bang Theory episodes. For instance, in Season 1, Episode 2, Leonard and Sheldon break into Penny's apartment, clean it overnight. She gets pissed at them, rightfully, but after they do basically nothing to own up to their misdemeanor crime and gaslight her into believing it's okay, she just stops caring and forgives them, portraying to the audience that she was the bad guy in this one. Honestly, over the course of the first season, I found myself enjoying watching these social dumbass incels ruin this regular woman's life.
I need eggs. 4 dozen should suffice.
The goal of the game was simple: move away from the small, dark, dusty corridors of past FPS games like Doom or Half-Life, and go somewhere open, vibrant, and massive. Far Cry is an absolute crack sesh of a game. The story is as insane and convoluted as it is fun, the gunplay is fantastic, the physics are kind of jank but really impressive. Alright guys, we're gonna get in with a classic barrel trap, and here we go. We got him, it worked. And the levels are really fun to shoot through. It's a game that is truly shocking to have come out in 2004. I have no reservations about saying this. Far Cry is way, far better than Half-Life 2. Which doesn't take much in my opinion, but we don't have time to get into that. However, Far Cry is also a mild form of sadistic torture. This game is so goddamn hard. The AI fluctuates between brain-dead morons and so smart it's genuinely scary sometimes. Some won't notice you right in front of them, while others can see you from miles away. This guy with a rocket launcher can see me from miles. I can't see him. Stealth is technically present in this game. Look, you got a meter and everything, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do this at all. There are so many sections where you just come out of the clearing with every single enemy knowing your exact coordinates, forcing you into these massive open floor plan firefights with no cover whatsoever. I'm getting shot to pieces as I wonder, am I just mentally deficient or is this game kind of busted? Maybe it's a bit of both. So the whole getting shot through tents thing, it's a pretty infamous hurdle for new players to get around.
Alright, so on realistic, apparently the enemies can shoot you super accurately right through the wall. So, I don't know, but I think we're gonna have to go and switch this down to easy. I've successfully sneaked into the enemy base. No one knows I'm here. What the fuck?
Some even consider it a glitch, and those who do are probably wondering why I don't. Well, bozo, this glitch has remained unpatched for over 10 years, and it's not like Crytek went bankrupt after this game or something either. They remain active to this day. If all it takes to fix this is a few lines of code that they could have updated any time in the last 16-ish years, that probably means they never will, and this was all intentional. This is the purest version of their game. This is their vision, and I have to respect that by playing it like this. I mean, also, are we supposed to assume that everybody knows how to install a fan patch? No, this is the version that most people are going to play if they just buy the game straight off Steam and start playing it. I think it might also make the foliage not function correctly as cover, because I sure do get seen and shot through it a ton. Or maybe it's to help immerse you in the feeling that you're a guy wearing a bright red Hawaiian shirt in the green jungle. You know, the two opposite colors that will contrast off each other harshly. God. What's the Big Bang Theory up to?
I don't care if anybody gets it. I'm going as the Doppler effect.
No, it's not.
If I have to, I can demonstrate.
Each chapter of this game probably had a part that got me stuck for over an hour thanks to some bizarre quirk of this game. Like this part with the fuckest ladder of all time where you have to look up to climb up, but you can't tell when you're actually off it, because if you level yourself again, you can't climb up anymore. And when you're trying to climb up, there's a helicopter that starts blasting you well before you're even off it, and they expect you to fight like 15 guys plus that attack helicopter just to get this boat. But you see, moments like this are what drag Far Cry back from being an annoying, broken mess to actually like genuine gaming kino. Because I thought, what if? What if instead of fighting these assholes, I just jumped off the side, landed in some water, walked along the edge of the boat, then I look up at the smaller boat that I was supposed to get suspended by ropes, shot him from the ground, and just took it. I was forced to outsmart the game itself. You see, something clicks here. You aren't just fighting mercenaries. You're fighting the devs themselves, you're fighting the game engine, you're fighting the level design, you're fighting everything. But, you know, don't let me lead you astray, however, because this game isn't just a buggy, unfair gruel through a hellish jungle. When you have cover and you can work out a plan, it's a ton of fun to line up shots and just blast these human people with lives and families. Whenever I play shoot 'em up video games, I like to imagine how, like, the families of these mercenaries won't get to see their deceased loved ones on Christmas, and, you know, they won't even, like, know what happened. It becomes like a puzzle. Can't sneak through because the game's broken, so I gotta shoot through. But I gotta shoot this guy first. Maybe from here? Nope, do it from here. But there's also a rocket launcher guy, so kill snipers, get the rifles to get him. Never mind, he shot himself and exploded, but there's a Humvee in the garage shooting at you, so waste all your ammo guessing where he is to break the sequence, die, explode, try again for 2 hours, ground troops, snipers, trick him into blowing himself up, grab health from his tent while running, throw grenades here, so a helicopter explodes while dropping off reinforcements, remember the Humvee, but don't let them shoot through the big explosive tank here, there's more guys, don't let them kill you, explode, die. And it's even more fun to blast these godless mutant blights against nature. This dude could eat a whole Thanksgiving turkey if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, this game has like horrific biological mutants that just fuck your shit up harder than a Kentucky hard shit fucker. Most Far Cry games are pretty cut and dry as to who the villains really are, but this one, like any good monster story, asks us the question, who's the real monster? Is it them? Is it me? Oh, my arms are turning green. Oh, it might be me. Or is it her? Damn. Bitch looks like Hot Grunty from Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, look, I'm not saying I would. but I would. Ironically, these sections in the underground lab and the dusty, dark corridors are kind of the best part of the game for me. The walls work here so you're not constantly exploding every time you stop to reload or take a breath. That's something I noticed gradually. Like when you're out in the open, you just explode sometimes. Down here, you just get to clear out rooms and use these sick night vision goggles, creeping around with a shotgun hunting monsters. I'd like to call this next section, The Legend of Fuck, God damn it, why, what is this shit? You see, in this chapter, you gotta go to a bunch of radio towers. You see, it's way the hell over there, so we gotta take this hang glider and, oh yeah, don't shoot a rocket into the handlebars, and what am I holding on to? And die 100 times trying to walk to it to figure out we need this Humvee, but it's here and you need it there. Thankfully, they add a handy little boat with a trailer attached to it for some reason, so you just park the car on it, get in the boat, and holy shit, you can't steer at all. And they're firing rockets at me. It's very hard to, like, visually illustrate how much this boat doesn't work. You try to drive straight and it starts veering to the left or the right, and so you try to counteract that by steering left or right in the opposite direction, and it doesn't work at all. So you just gotta, like, intensely fight it until you somehow get across the river. And after hours of trying it over and over again, and this time hunting down and destroying the other boats, I finally shimmy the fucked up boat here and driving it up towards the tower, and Sheldon's twin sister Missy comes to town and decides to visit her brother and the geeks, and hilarity ensues when they all want to date her. Unlike Penny, Missy is much less susceptible to having her life and standards of living degraded by these Funko Pop freaks, and simply brushes off their advances. Then she molests Sheldon in his own bed. This episode, like most episodes, doesn't really have much of a resolution. It just stops. Life goes on. Fuck you. Yo, what's Sheldon doing? Yo! He done stole Raj's girl! Sheldon bad as hell! It's no wonder why Sheldon quickly became a fan favorite and worldwide phenomenon. He is the one free man. The one who's to be the next great. He doesn't give a fuck, he doesn't give a shit, and he uses his genius to punish mankind in petty, hilarious ways.
You cannot blow up my head with your mind.
Then I'll settle for an aneurysm.
You begin to align yourself with him. You want to see what he's up to and find yourself rooting for him as he expertly riffs on Leonard's ridiculous pursuit of Penny. Meanwhile, the rest are off having some stupid relationship drama or pointless, petty problem. Sheldon is learning Mandarin to ask a Chinese restaurant for the right noodles. Sheldon rarely factors into an episode's outcome and almost exists as a Greek choir type character, existing on the sidelines to grimace at the tomfoolery taking place around him.
I want grilled cheese.
He unequivocally makes the lives of all those around him much, much worse by being an incredibly ignorant, sociopathic piece of shit. Yet, I struggle to sympathize with anyone except Sheldon.
Look, you are a great guy, and it is the things you love that make you who you are.
I guess that makes me large breasts.
The more I get to know Leonard, Howard, Raj, and Penny, the more I understand that Sheldon is right to be mean and antagonize these pathetic losers. At least for season 1, this show almost felt like Always Sunny or Seinfeld in the way that the characters all exist to imprint their worst characteristics onto one another, all the while learning nothing and gradually all becoming worse people. No character exhibits this degradation and de-evolution greater than Penny, who just over the course of one season goes from ditzy and innocent to cruel and sarcastic as the nerds across the hall continue to wear down her standards of living, prevent her from going to work, waste her time, break into her home, and constantly sexually harass her to the point where she has no choice but to date Leonard because she can no longer relate to regular people either. At the end of the day, it's a far from perfect show. It's highly flawed, annoying as shit, and made me into a slightly worse and far more paranoid man, a bastard of civilization, and turned my soul so black even the shadows can't hide my wicked ways. But it made me laugh multiple times, like laugh out loud. I lolled. Maybe counterculture has gone too far. When everyone has colored hair, tattoos, and hates the government, The only thing left for me to do to rebel is watch Big Bang Theory and like it. The screen fades to black and I wonder, do I like this? Or am I just such a contrarian that I've looped back around and unironically enjoy Marvel, Melissa McCarthy movies, pop music, and Thursday night sitcoms while I pet my cat? Is this defeat or victory? I don't know. I don't have to care. I give Far Cry Classic an 8 out of 10, it's pretty good. I mean, like I said, it's genuinely impressive that this game came from a new developer out of nowhere in 2004, had everything Half-Life 2 had, but had actually engaging combat, intelligent AI, a physics engine, a way more enjoyable story, and has continued to go so far under the radar. It's never brought up in the conversation about classic FPS games or even classic games in general, and that's really odd. It's overshadowed by the series' modern, less than stellar reputation among hardcore gamers. But I think this first game is well worth the very low price of admission, and I'm sure if you installed the fan patch like I didn't, you'd have an insane time. I really like this game. Definitely get the Wii version though, that's the definitive version.